Okay guys, welcome back to my channel, A Bit Tactical. Today, I'm going to be going over how you should view activations and what to do in certain scenarios when it comes to trading activations, because that's how I think you should be viewing this game. You should be viewing it as trading activations with your opponent in order to achieve certain goals, right? Maybe you're trying to kill someone, maybe you're trying to score points, but especially yeah, for a long time the meta has been elite teams, right, getting kind of screwed over, and it has everything to do with that. They have 6 activations, everyone else has 10 or 12, just a crazy amount of activations compared to the elite teams. And I want to show you why that's important, and how you can set up situations in which maybe you could reverse that, right? Or maybe you can change your mindset around not just viewing kills as important, but wasting your opponent's activation on something as important. Not only that, at the end of the video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I want to do next. So yeah, stick around for that, but let's go on to the examples. Look at how nerdy it is that I set this up this way. So the setup is simple. Your model activates first and shoots this target and kills him. This model then activates and shoots your model and kills him. You might view this as a 1-to-1 trade, but that's the incorrect way to view this. Any given team only has a certain amount of activations per turning point that they can play. In this specific situation, you have taken an activation away by killing this model, and you have taken a second activation away by having this model kill your model, which means 2 enemy activations have been used on your one model. So if you had started with an even number of models for this turning point, you killing a model and then your opponent using a model to kill your model now leaves them at a disadvantage. They have 2 activations left and you have 3. Depending on the situation, this could be worse. For example, in this specific very weird position, this model could simply advance up and take a shot at one of these guys, taking another model off the board, leaving one last activation for the turning point to your 2. If you are the person who initiates those shooting attacks, then you should always keep doing that. If your opponent just chooses to foolishly keep on shooting at you, then you should continue shooting back at them. But what do you actually do in that situation? If you find yourself on the defensive end of this situation, how do you counter it? Well, there's a few ways. If your opponent activates first and manages to kill one of your models, you should essentially ignore this model for the rest of the turning point, or until you find a free way to get him killed. What you should immediately try to do is, with anybody that can kill somebody else, do so, but do not kill him. Your model should charge and kill somebody that has not activated yet. So whether it be him or him, that way you're still trading a model for a model, but you've also traded an activation for an activation. So if you kill this model, the initiative has now been reset. But now that we know this, how do we take advantage of this? Well, in the new edition, it seems to be the case that your snipers can take their first shot while within a concealed position without having to change the order. So this sharpshooter could take that shot on that guy for free. Essentially, you just cannot be counterfired. So if you have this opportunity, always take it. Another way to take an opportunity is if you have a smoke grenade. In the new edition, a smoke grenade obscures you. So, if it's your turn, right, you win initiative and you have a shot that you can take without having to move, or if you're a space marine and you have 3 APL and you can move, shoot, and then do something else, and do that. But what you can do is you can shoot a target, you kill them. Well, say for this example that you kill them, right? And then you drop a smoke grenade. Now, why this is really good, and especially in the new edition, is that obscurement stacks with cover. What does this mean? Well, let's use this Space Marine for an example. First of all, you will automatically retain 1 cover save since you are in cover. You still have 2 more saves to roll. Let's just roll them here. Okay, that's uncharacteristically. Okay, that's uncharacteristically good. I'll keep that, but let me make my point without him. Actually, no, we're not gonna keep it. Let's just say you roll 1 additional save. Okay, it's. I mean, you save on 3s. It's more than a good chance you're gonna get all 3 saves, but whatever. Let's say you have 2 saves. Essentially, in the new edition, because of how obscurement works, this is all you need, really, to block almost all damage coming through to you. The way obscurement works is that you cannot take crit damages. And what this means is that crits are automatically reduced to 5s, or to normal hits. So you don't get any crit bonuses, and you do not do crit damages. So that's that's big. So your damage output is automatically reduced. Not only that, a successful hit is automatically taken away. A successful hit. So after your opponent does... Okay, so let's say the Vet Guard Plasma guy rolls this, right? He uses, 1 command reroll to reroll that, doesn't matter. Doesn't get the hit. He has a crit and 2 hits. This crit automatically gets turned into a normal hit, and it cannot be changed. So your opponent would have no reason to spend anything on this, right? 1 hit automatically gets taken away because you are obscured, and you have now rolled 2. So you have 2 saves, right? But let's say you didn't have 2 saves, you just had 1 save. That means 1 normal save is taken away. So if you are in cover and you're obscured, you have such high damage mitigation, right? 4 damage still goes through, but still, that's crazy. So yeah, if you can pop down a smoke grenade, remember to shoot first, okay? Now, shoot first, pop a smoke grenade. You've now created a situation where you've taken a model away. You've made it very unlikely that you get killed. And you now actually have an interesting scenario pop up where you are in a position that if your opponent makes a foolish mistake, and they do tend to do this sometimes, of just constantly trying to shoot and kill this guy, you've now made the situation even worse. Before, you were doing a 2 activations for 1 model trade. Now you could potentially do a 3 activations per 1 model trade, which is big. You do not want to be in that situation. If you are this guy, personally, I would never take a shot on an obscure target. I just wouldn't do that. It seems to be very unlikely to kill someone unless they're low on health, right? If they've got 1 health, or they've got 1 normal hit, whatever normal hit you have health, then maybe, yeah, take that chance. But if that's not the case, taking a shot on an obscured target. Essentially, what this means is that if you are obscured and in cover, you automatically take two successful hits away from your opponent, no matter what. You will always take two successful hits away from your target, from your opponent's attack dice, which again is pretty powerful. I'm setting my models up like they're on a free-for-all, I guess. Another way to waste activations on your opponent is by doing something annoying with an objective. So, this objective marker is here. Your Phobos Marine is over here. For those of you who do not know, there is a huge movement buff that only costs 1 CP, and I'm like 99% certain it's going to be as part of the new rules. This guy can do a lot of movement for free, basically. But more importantly, he can actually do mission actions for free. So you can move up from a position that just, for the sake of this example, let's just say this is their objective marker. When I say their objective marker, the objective marker closest to your enemy's deployment zone. You pop your Phobos Marine out of nowhere, just because that's something you can do, and you take that, you dash back, and then maybe you can make a shooting attack on someone, right? Maybe you make a shooting attack against this sergeant. Now, this does a few things, right? This can actually guarantee a 2 activation trade just for this model. Number one, they're gonna want to take this model out so that they can take control of this objective marker. That's number one. Number two, they're gonna have to take the time. They're gonna have to take an activation to get to this objective marker and secure it for themselves. This is kind of a guaranteed 2 activation trade. Yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you just a few examples of how you should try to change the way you think about the game, and specifically activations. It's an activation versus an activation game mode, right? If you're able to take as many activations from your opponent on this turning point, you gain a significant advantage over them. You initiating a kill trade is important. You will have the advantage in those situations. You stopping a kill trade from happening on the opponent's initiative is also very important. Either you have to completely disengage from it and move your models back to safety, or you have to go after their unactivated models. I actually kind of want to do a battle report reaction to the Warhammer battle report that just came out with the Vespids and the Aquilons. Now, I'm pretty sure that the guys that were doing that, they were kind of staging it a little bit, was just to say that I think they sometimes made certain moves because they were told to in order to show off certain mechanics. Which, I mean, is fine. That's fine. If that's, it's their job. They're trying to show off the game and how the new rules work. But I actually do want to do a report on that. So I want to take certain clips and certain moments where I think mistakes were made, better decisions that could have been made, and even an example of what I was talking about. So I'm going to cover it in its own video, but there was actually a crazy amount of what I just talked about, that activation trading for the Servo Sentry. I guess he just has a ridiculous life amount, but I think that Servo Sentry was shot 3 or 4 times throughout the entire game and still lasted until turning point 3. And that's from the very first turning point going out there and making shots and getting shot at, and still surviving all of that. So yeah, I think there's a lot. Yeah, I'm really interested in doing that. I think in the future when Mountainside Tabletop, because I love their videos, they also had, oh yeah, I think I would talk about it in that report. But there are just some times when I watch them where I'm like, oh, I think that there was a much better decision to be made here. And I think it's actually a way better way to show you guys some of these strategies and tactics rather than just me coming up with like random kind of bullcrap examples. All right, anyways, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching to the end. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow.